All right, and I'm just gonna pop in our chat and just see if anyone is stuck or lingering. So just give me 1 second while you guys get organized.
Yeah. This is a very punctual group. I like it.
You guys are making Sasha's heart so happy with how organized you guys are.
It's actually very true.
Let's see, I don't see anyone stuck in the group chat. So I think we should be good. We got Katie, we got Kristen, we got Brigitte. How are you today, Sash?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, thank you. A little sad that it's raining again, but I do know that in March, winter weather is to be expected.
Also, it was so nice yesterday. We cannot complain about this.
No, it was beautiful on the weekend too, which was a win.
Right?
Have sun on the
Yeah.
weekend is really nice. And I feel like, Kristen, how's the weather where you are? I feel like maybe we shouldn't rub it in, depending where how it's been.
-13 feels like -18. It's been snowing for 2 days. We've about this much
Oh,
snow.
I will not complain about our 1 day of rain so far. I take it back. It's beautiful, and I'll have it any damn day of the week over -13. Oh,
right? I think now that puts it in perspective what winter really is.
absolutely. And Sash and I both hearken from like farther back east, so Ontario and Nova Scotia. But I think we're both pretty soft at this point. We've lost that skill set. We've got,
We have lost that skill set.
and so maybe we'll jump in. So today is just going to be open coaching. We're going to take your questions. We're going to talk about what's been challenging. Anything is on the table. I've still got a couple of feedback forms to get to, so we're going to have those by the end of tonight. But I saw some really nice things in there she can talk about as well. And the others I'll probably pop out about 20 minutes early. So if you've got nutrition questions, pop them in the chat before I pop out. I was not supposed to be here for this one, but I didn't take it off my calendar. So I made time anyways, and I'm thrilled. I'm always happy to be here. To maybe want to start with, and you can either unmute or pop in the chat, just like anyone have a food win or a workout win this week, big or small? And Katie's eating, so camera off. That's all good, Katie. And eating is welcome. And you got a dietitian.
Yeah. I ate last time. You're totally fine. You're in good company here.
I squeezed in an extra workout this week.
Woo!
Yes, I saw that in the chat.
Did 3, plus I still did my yoga and I still did little bits of walking, but yeah.
I
Love it.
love hearing that. And so we're going to circle back to that later because some of the stuff on, forms and messages too, which is how do you keep workout scheduling on track when like stuff pops up, right? So that you're clearly doing a good job. I love that. Anyone else have a good win, food or fitness? Hi, Megan. And you can unmute or you can pop it in chat if you don't feel like using your voice.
My assessment today.
Ooh, you did your assessment today. Oh, humbling, but so good. How did it feel?
Pretty good. I was like, oh, there's some things to aspire to do, but it was good. And Trevor
Nice.
Linden was at my gym today because I go to the Club 16, and Trevor
Oh,
Linden was there. It's like, hey,
really? It's meant to be. We're meant to do my assessment today.
yeah, meant to be there. Yeah. So
I love that. Way to
after
go.
all the fitness and stuff, I was like, oh, I'm back. And then nutrition feels easier now. So I feel like I needed to dial that first. Sometimes I'm always like go guns a blazing and just like do it all at once, and then I just burn out, and then it's a thing. So it's slow and steady.
I love that
I
knowledge.
like that.
Great company with people who love to do that here. We're all recovering. Like, and I like that you named it. Awesome.
Yeah.
I've been feeling much more energetic. I don't know if anyone else has. I don't know if that's just a good phase or
Possible.
not aligned, but I've been feeling a lot more energetic.
That's
That's
awesome.
because there's so much to do, and when you have more energy, it just
Mm,
feels easier.
yeah.
Right.
Love that. Brigitte, fridge is stocked and lots of cukes and turkey sticks again. Amazing. Staples are like so helpful for that. And turkey sticks, I feel like all my clients end up eating like the turkey pepperoni sticks because they're just such an easy, tasty protein, which is, if you don't know what that is, I can pop it in the chat. I feel like Pillars should like pay me a commission for all of
It's
it.
so funny. I just finished some and between Stella and I, because it's like a one for me, one for her.
They make a great backup dog treat. I'll sometimes if
They do.
park. My dog requires some bribing despite being 5. And you know what? Pepperoni's a hit any day. So it's healthy for him. So love that for you. And like systems work really well for you. So I like hearing that too. And then Katie will let her finish eating before we pick on her for wins. Do you guys maybe want to pop your question in the chat just so we can like kind of organize them? And then we can always unmute you as we go and like have that time to explain it a little bit more and dig in, but just so we can get a feel for what's happening.
Also, too, for people that weren't on at the very, very start, Michelle has to pop out like 20 minutes early. She's actually not even supposed to be here today, so this is bonus time with her. So any of the nutrition ones we'll probably tackle first.
So I can pop in with my wins have been notably very small. So my breakfasts are generally okay. I'm getting lots of protein in my breakfast, but it's where my lunch. I've been working on getting my lunch balanced, and then I'm hoping that if I balance my lunch, I'll feel less snacky in the afternoon, and that'll lead to dinner. So I'm trying to do this one meal at a time.
I love that.
Great strategy, Katie. Like just to go, what is the most important one here? And you're right. Those like you can just go meal by meal and get ahead of the snackiness. Helpful. And you've got a ton on your plate lately too. So it makes sense that there's some extra snacky feelings in the afternoon. Awesome. Okay, so we got some good nutrition questions. Maybe I'll start rolling through these while we wait for everyone to get theirs in the chat. Kristen, so struggling with maxing out protein without getting too many calories, and also sometimes being too full to eat more protein, which is a really common challenge as you aren't hungry enough to eat all the protein you need. Do you want to unmute and just like chat through what you've been doing and like what meals that's coming up at the most?
Sorry, I totally blanked out there and I did not hear your question.
Oh,
My
so
Zoom went off.
all I did was read your question. So do you want to just share? So you're struggling with getting protein in without overdoing calories. Is that the kind of big struggle there? Okay. And what meals are you finding yourself too full? Is it all of them? Or is it just like mornings are hard? Like where is it?
Not all of them. Like I was just thinking because I bought a whole bunch of those protein bars because I have a serious sugar attack after lunch typically, and that's usually when I'm eating really horrible whatever's in the drawer, whatever everyone's got at their desk, chocolates and stuff. So I thought a sweet protein bar would be helpful, but even the ones that have like low sugar and higher fiber and stuff, which I found a couple which I really like, but I actually found one day that I ate 3/4 of it, and I'm like, I physically don't want to eat any more of this. So I left it and I hung on to it until today, actually. And then I was like, I really want something. Like, I don't want to eat a whole one because like I'm not hungry, but I have like a sugar attack. So I ate this like quarter of a protein bar that was like kind of sweet. So that was helpful. But yeah, and I was kind of like trying to remember, okay, still need to honor my hunger cues, but at the same time, yeah, just trying to balance that.
And some of that is a little bit of getting used to it. And I was just in your food journal, so not everyone's food journal will be this fresh. Just manage expectations here. Kristen's like 10 minutes ago. But so I think too, sometimes as you get more full at meals, particularly, that carb portion can come down a little bit too. Like if we've always had 2 slices of bread or like an open faced sandwich and something instead of 2 slices. So just that part will sometimes make room for the meal stuff. I love that you're noticing you're too full of snacks, right? So you're not just like powering through mindlessly. You're actually going like, oh, like that was enough. And we're not just eating it because it's there. So that's actually a great win and a great nod to you're doing really well with protein earlier in the day. So I think what you did with the afternoon is absolutely fine. As far as the kind of being able to get enough in, especially as we're kind of rejigging like meal portions coming down, carbs and that to make room for protein. Some people just like the chewing tires them out because protein foods are very satiating chemically as well as just effort wise. Sometimes topping up with like, a little shake, like I'll sometimes do, I have a really nice chocolate protein powder and like milk at night, like a little like hot chocolate kind of thing. And I can kind of jam in my extra 20 grams there if I don't need to, and the calories are pretty low. Are you finding, because your calories look pretty good to me when I was in there earlier, were there any days where you noticed it was really hard to keep it under?
Sorry, I keep unmuting myself. Yeah, I'm trying to remember specifically. Like, I had a day where I think it was like 1,800 calories, and mine are supposed to be between 300 and 500. I was like, whoa! But it was like I got to the end of the day, and I'm still having my like sugar cravings, which I'm trying to do at least like a healthier thing. So, like something sweet, like strawberries. That's not like chocolate or something. But again, that still bumps up my carbs, which is also an issue that I have. That I'm over my carbs almost every single day. I'm getting there, but sometimes it's really bad.
Yeah, and it's a tricky one because we crave carbs because we evolved to crave carbs, right? We live short term. It gives us a nice boost in dopamine. We primarily needed quick energy when we evolved those systems, so it's very normal. And also, most of us need so much less, both at this age and stage, and working and sitting all of the time. And so it might be worth. And this was a common couple of food journal things. We just like if you are really satisfied at those meals only, just bringing that portion down earlier and seeing if that leaves a little room for your snack, especially with those cravings being so high in the evening. So I still don't want you below that 350 calories or you will be hungry. But though if we get that down a little earlier, we might have a bit of space at the end of the day. Your average ended up okay. So you were pretty darn close to what we were aiming for when I looked at like week by week. And so that's the other thing I think for all of you is like I've built a little buffer typically into the meal things I gave you because we all have days that are higher. I'm going to have an old fashioned tonight because there's like a games night with a networking group I go to. That's going to be 250 calories that are not part of my meals, right? There's no nutritional value in the orange peel inside of that drink. And so I've actually built that into most of your guys' meals that there'll be a day or two where you'll be over the numbers, but your average will still work out. So you were pretty darn close. I like the focus on it. And I think it's just if we can bring that earlier in the day carb portion down a bit at meals, might leave you that little wiggle room for something delicious at night without totally cranking for the day. Does that feel doable to like test out a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think that's typically where I have the harder time is breakfast and lunch, too many carbs. Like lunch is typically the one where I have like a ton of carbs, and I don't, because I'm trying to have these like healthy lunches that I'm like, how is my carbs so bloody high?
It's when we look at the numbers for those, it surprises everyone, right? Because so many of the healthiest foods, that we have been raised with are carb foods to make them bad, but we'll stack like bread on fruit, on crackers and cheese on the side, which is not a specific for meal to be clear. But it's just that like stack, right? So we're getting 10 grams, 15, 20 here, and all of a sudden it's a 50-gram meal instead of like a 30-gram. And so I think for you, just the mindfulness you have is already improving so that like over 2-week tracking, your carbs got better, in that time, which was really great. And playing that with intention, even like pre-logging a little bit for next week, going like, what are the lunches I think I'll have? And being like, well, crap, maybe I'll skip the grapes because I want a whole sandwich and just leaving it there. But yeah, that pre-checking them might help for that too, because they sneak up on us always. Let's catch Catherine. So great question, Catherine. Do you recommend a morning or afternoon snack to stabilize blood sugar, or ideally not? So I have a general answer, which I will give everyone. But Catherine, are you feeling hungry in the afternoon, low energy? Like, how are you doing between meals?
The protein makes such a difference. It's great. I've been having bits of snacks just to. I mean, I always eat small meals in between, and then it's great to be able to track it all. I'm not sure if you actually want us for blood sugar level to keep it 3 meals a day, unless you're going to work out.
It's a really good question. And so if you're not body hungry, the goal is kind of 3 meals and 1 snack with that extra protein somewhere. So we hold on to that muscle, and whether that's afternoon or mid-morning or evening, up to you guys, right? That's just the most comfortable time, usually your longest stretch. But when we think about stabilizing blood sugar, there's this sort of like common, even some of my professional colleagues, but like, you must eat every couple hours to maintain it. But if we had to eat every couple hours to maintain blood sugar, we would die. Every night we would die, right? When we exercised, we would die. We would have not lived 10,000 years. But this is what we hear all the time. We hear it in all of the nutrition education we get is that you must eat regularly. And often the problem is we're also a little symptomatic, right? Blood sugar starts dipping. And when we're more insulin resistant, we can't access that store. And so we feel low energy, or we feel a bit tired, or we feel hungry. The reality is your skinniest friend 10,000 plus calories stored in fat, right? That's what fat is for, is to be able to be turned into sugar for that emergency, to keep your brain and your body like healthy. And so we're supposed to be able to put it in, take it out, put in, take it out. And as we get a little bit older, or if we've been eating frequently, carb intake's higher, hormones are changing, like, you know, the whole room that we got here, we get less good at taking it out. Our healthy cells ask for it a little sooner, and our brain tends to panic faster. So even though blood sugar is normal, we feel a little off, like hungry, tired. So if you're not body hungry, no, skip it. And if you are fatigued, I would try fluids, getting up and moving. Just try the other things first, like have a glass of water. And if you're still really struggling, like a small stack time then might work. But as a general rule, if you don't need it, there's no physical cue, I would skip it. But it's for those of us, and like I grew up in all the diet era, right? Like I'm 41. It was eat 6 meals of like 100 calories. Like we've done the small frequent thing for 20 years. It's really weird to untrain it, right? Your brain thinks that you should have it. So if you need one, go for it, but try and tune into that cue, which you've been doing a better job because you have been feeling better too, which is really. Does that make sense, Catherine?
Yeah, totally.
Perfect. I love that. Ooh, Brigitte. So would the DEXA scan give a good sense of how many calories I should have daily? So this is a great question. So when we do a DEXA scan, it gives us an idea of like body fat to muscle, because weight is just, you know, it's all of the things. And so sometimes we'll adjust the numbers we've given you a bit based on like someone's way more muscle than we thought. But typically, if it has spat out a number on there, I would ignore it. It doesn't measure resting energy expenditure. It's just giving you an estimate based on a standard calorie equation. So I wouldn't change what you have already based on it, but I can have a peek when I go do your feedback forms. I think you uploaded your DEXAs too, and just see if I would change it based on that, but ignore any amounts they say on the reports because they're very generic. And one of the things we found out where we went to is they base a lot of their averages on just people who've scanned already. So when it says like you are in this percentile, all it means is of the 1,000 people who've been on their machine, that's where you fall. So I'd ignore anything the report says, but I can have a peek and just make sure we're on track there for sure. Does that answer your question, Brigitte? You can always thumbs up maybe in the chat too, or pop back in later.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And then Megan, I'm still hungry at night, so not sure what's going on. I like this one. Let me read through, and then you can unmute too, and we'll chat through it.
Yeah, I mean, I can flow through at the same time.
Okay,
So,
amazing. Yeah.
I haven't done like a protein forward diet in like a hot minute, but when I did, I mean, I was in my best, like I was at my best self, which I'm realizing, oh, that's why. But I do remember because I did like a fitness competition. I worked at a gym for a while, and my personal trainer was like, why, like my body, I think I would say my body is probably naturally athletic. Like there's a lot of muscle in there, not a small person. Never can't, like could not be. Even when I like shrunk my like self at a bikini competition, the muscle was just like it was just there. And so the issue was she's like, oh my God, like your muscle is just like I just couldn't get enough protein. Like it was just a very interesting experience. So I'm feeling that same thing again. And all I'm doing is like, well, if I'm going to eat more, I'm just going to get more protein then. Like I'm trying the protein forward snack. I don't actually like carbs that much. I've noticed I use it as a replacement, but like I could happily probably go no carbs. I'm like, oh, right, I have to add carbs to this meal. So,
Yeah. And you're still hungry at night as well. And
yeah, it's like after dinner, like 2 hours later, I'm like, fuck, I'm still hungry. Like,
and every body's a bit different. So I will say, and she noted in her description in the chat that she's been doing like snacks as well, and like even trying to find something that will settle you in that evening phase. When people are hungry can vary quite a bit, and protein's not the only answer. So what I love is that you guys have caught on that like it is very important. And Megan, this is something you've already like protein's been a thing for you, so you're like really on it. The thing, if you're already hitting within that range, the kind of 1.5 to 2 grams per kilo we gave you, above the 2 kilo, there's usually no benefit, right? So if you're just adding more protein, you're already overshooting that. You're not going to get usually additional fullness from it. You might get a little bit for like a half an hour, but that chemical part should be satisfied. And so I would for you check our total calories early in the day at that first meal. So like is that first meal at least, I'd have to go back to your numbers. But is it that 400 plus for that first meal? Like we're not shorting it and spreading it out over multiple meals because that won't turn that signal down. Is the fiber 25 plus grams for my second one? So those guys are also really important for satiety, that like per meal hitting the minimum, like very
Like 500 calories in the morning, did you say?
I would have to look at everyone's got slightly different numbers and everyone got a range. So let me see if I can pull yours up.
Is that in the app?
So yeah, if you filled out one of the, so you've got it's in the notes section of the app or online. And so you've got something that says like a Thrive personalized nutrition goal. So if I go in, your per meal is like 350 to 5. And so I'd make sure that 350 it's an absolute minimum, guys. Like below that, you will be hungry. You will burn muscle, even if you manage your 30 grams of proteins. I'd watch that one for sure. And you may find for you, especially because you carry quite a bit of muscle mass, leaning breakfast and lunch towards the higher end might help too. So often that rolling hunger is a bit of, you have a lot of very metabolically active tissue. And so if we short it during the day, you just won't catch up in the evening. And then that 25 plus grams fiber would be the other. Like, are we hitting it really reliably 80% of the time? Because it's the other side of that part. And your feedback form is one of my ones to do again later. So I'll have a peek at those numbers for you too if you've been doing some tracking. But I would double check it. Do you think, because you've done a bit of tracking before, if you've done fitness comps,
I have. For me,
you
it's just
think
30.
you're getting over that 350 to 4 at breakfast?
It depends. If I don't, I think it's the hardest one because I'm usually like timers. I haven't found like the breakfast. I remember when I found it when I did this last time, I was like, it was perfect. So I need to figure out what that is. And then once I know it and once it becomes the dopamine hit, then I'll be good to go. So I haven't been able to find that yet. All the other ones are good. So I think that's the homework for this week is like, okay, what's the best breakfast ever that
Like,
will
let's
get to wake up early to make it.
And it might be something we could like partially prep for you too. So I made a note on your profile. So when I go back to that form, to like just see what you're doing and have a peek at like if there's anything we can tweak. Sometimes it's really small. Like if you're already hitting protein, the calories are really short. Fats are great at that. They're low volume, they're high cal. It's one of the times that they're great is that low appetite if protein is met. And I'll probably have a peek at your carbs too to make sure they're not too low for your activity level because that'd be the other thing that will crank hunger because it's that push to refuel.
Well, that's the thing. I'm starving after doing this, and I haven't even started going to the gym yet.
We don't want to be starving.
Going.
There, yeah, Kristen's got that. She's been tracking her photos and everything, which is beautiful. Nice. And let's catch that a weekly tracker. So we'll get to that one too. But yeah, I think the fiber, let's find a breakfast over 350 for sure. But I'd almost lean closer to that 5 for you because you're so hungry later and you are, if you carry more muscle naturally, you probably need it.
I know when I looked at the DEXA thing, I was like, oh, those calves are all calf. Okay.
I am part of the very well-developed calf club as well. Yeah. I rode a horse as a young person and generally they're like very tall, skinny people. I remember getting boots for the first time and the lady was like, I couldn't zip any of them up. And I was like 11. She was like, you have very well-developed calves. And I was like, I'm 11. Like, oh my God. But you know what? Now I'm like, yeah, on my DEXA, plenty of muscle in there. I put many a gym bro to shame with my calves. So it's all good. We can share it together. So yeah, we'll work away on that one, but I'd hit your minimums first for you.
Try that.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great question.
Thanks.
And then let's pop Brigitte. Enough calories at breakfast, and we'll post in the chat. Okay, yeah, so she has a breakfast, so oats, yogurt, fruit cup to go with her 2 eggs. Would like to plan 3 different breakfast options. Brigitte, you're done dinner? Oh yeah, there you are. You're at the bottom of my screen, sorry. Did you want to unmute and just chat with the calories? Do you know what's usually coming out to?
Well,
what I've been doing is typically just taking 2 eggs and having 2 eggs for breakfast. And I'm noticing that's not enough calories and I'm hungry. And I was trying 2 eggs with ham, but I don't always have ham available. Sometimes now I've got turkey sticks, so just been adding those. But I'm thinking that uh I would like to start having like a little oatmeal yogurt cup, like not a lot of oatmeal, but to try and have something like that to go along. And I wanted to find out kind of what would be the right size to accompany eggs. And sometimes I'll have like some toast with the egg. That's not often, but I feel like if I could have like a few different options like that, that would probably be helpful for me.
Yeah, and I think for it's sort of a theme too. Is once we know what those options are, then you can kind of repeat them, which is really nice. And so if you're already doing 2 eggs, you got about 14 grams protein, so we're on our way. And if you wanted oats, with oats, yogurt, and fruit, we just have to be careful because we're stacking 3 foods that have carbs in
Mhm.
them. So to Kristen's point earlier, these things add up quickly when we combine small amount on small amount. And so that would probably look like maybe like a quarter cup of cooked oats, which is about 2 tablespoons of dry oats, and like another quarter cup, half cup of Greek yogurt, and like a half cup of fruit on top, and that should keep you under your 45-gram carb range, but give you another 10 grams of protein and some fiber in there. So that would absolutely work. Like a half a small avo on that piece of toast would probably bring calories up too, and fiber without jacking carbs up if you want like a savory option as well. And so yeah, I think the like quarter cup cooked of like a rolled or a stone cut oat, probably half cup berries or something, and then another half cup if you got the higher protein Greek yogurt there. And that, like, I would pop it in the checker just to see how much it comes out to with the brands that you have, but it should be pretty close
Okay.
on that one. And Brigitte has also felt my pain with the riding boots. We got well-developed calf club here tonight, I feel about. So Kristen had a question. So Thrive Weekly Tracker. If we are journaling, you still want us to fill this out weekly. This is a great question. And Sasha and I might have different answers. I'm going to let Sasha answer first.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God. So I would say yes, but I'm a tracker girl. So for me, I find it really helpful to know kind of like what that minimum effective dose is and just to kind of know that I'm hitting it because the food journals are really great, but you're kind of getting a little bit more into the nitty gritty, whereas that one just kind of gives you that like bigger picture, like snapshot to make sure you're hitting things. That is my answer.
Yes. And I think to that point, because it's like things like your health marker, like you're tracking energy, if you're want to make sure workouts are on track, you can always go in and fill food in like every few days or once a week and just like see how the week went as a reflection and use it more for the like non-food stuff too. And that is when I love a tracker, but if it's not in front of my face, I will forget it exists. So I have like my business trackers literally pinned to this wall where I see them all day. So if you are forgetting about it, out is sometimes helpful for that too. And we don't necessarily see it unless you upload, like ask us to look at it, but it is a nice one sometimes for rhythm, because it's easy to forget like, oh, I've missed a workout for 3 weeks if life has been particularly chaotic. So yeah, love that. And then Megan, Superstore egg whites to scrambled eggs were a win to help this person. Yes. So mixing eggs and egg whites is really nice. Egg whites on their own, I find very sad. They look anemic and they don't taste like anything. And they feel very diety, but they're a great way to boost protein without like 1 million eggs, which both from a budget and just effort standpoint can be great. I have also used, and bear with me, I've like whisked cottage cheese in my frittata. So you can either blend it or just whisk it up. It depends on whether the texture or not. But it actually tastes really good for things like scrambled eggs or frittata, like the baked off ones or egg bites, and also adds more protein if you don't have egg whites. And fun fact, if the egg whites, you buy the like 2 or 3 pack from Costco where they're cheaper, you can freeze them. So if you haven't opened them, just like freeze them until you're ready and like pop them in the fridge a couple days before you need them because it is a lot cheaper from Costco. So that's a great, great add-on. Megan, I like it. I feel like we powered through the nutrition questions. You guys heard that. Michelle's leaving early and we're like, we are in here. So any exercise questions, any scheduling questions? What else is tricky? And I'll let Sash take over for a bit here.
Well, we'll see, Michelle. We'll see if I do.
Can be bossy, so I gotta watch this.
Yeah.
What else is either working or you guys having trouble with? Can you just unmute now that we've kind of got through the big bulk?
Yeah.
I'm having a very hard time trying to fit it in. And I've scheduled it in and then like the day goes completely sideways on me. And so like I've been trying to get up in the morning to do it, but then I find that I either have trouble sleeping or right now, because I've got a lot of stress going on, I'm tired. So I need the sleep, but I think I also need the exercise. So I'm not sure how to find that balance point.
Yeah, that's so tricky. And that is everyone, right? It's like, because you need the sleep to actually do the workout in the way that you want to do the workout. And then also you want the workout because that helps with the sleep. So it's like chicken and egg thing, totally. Um, so one of the things that I will tell people to do, which is like stupid simple, is but it works so well, is what I would like to try, or if you try it, is schedule out like 3 days a week. So your goal is two, minimum effective, but I want you to schedule three. And then that way, if you have like a night where maybe it is like just a really bad sleep and you do feel like garbage, like a trash panda the next morning, and it's like, you know what, it's not going to be the best time to go to the gym that day, then you can scratch that because you have that bonus one that you can actually use. So I will use that with most people. I'll be like, know what your minimum effective is. So in this case, that two, let's schedule out the three so you have that little bit of a buffer. Like stupid simple, but that's what I will try. Did that help?
It does. And what's even dumber is that I've got all the equipment in my basement, so I don't actually have to go anywhere.
Which is
Uh,
awesome.
it makes it like the not being able to do it makes it even more stupid, but well,
Because you have to walk downstairs. Yeah.
I have to change and then walk down the stairs, which is
Yeah,
a
totally.
task. But
Yes.
yeah, I will try and actually put it in my calendar, and then the
Yeah.
family will know what I'm planning on doing and they can figure it out.
Well, and that's the thing. And the other thing too is like if you are having like a really great week, like maybe you get to that third scheduled spot and you're like, you know what? I hit my first two, but like, why not? I'm feeling good. I'm gonna go for it. I've got the energy. Like, yeah, or you have a bonus hour where you can do whatever you want. And everyone thinks you're gonna be working out.
You could try your bedroom or your car.
Yeah.
And I have to say, this is one of my favorite strategies of Sasha's, and I've stolen it. And I really struggle with exercise, just the routine of it, because I'm also struggling with sleep and like food is nailed. And I think the other thing Sasha really like not nagged, supported me with was something's better than nothing. Because I also started just like at home because I was like, I just need to be able to do something. And so she was like, I don't care if you hit snooze 3 times. If you've got 10 minutes, you do 10 minutes. If that's all that's left. You go, and I had kettlebells, I have bands, I got everything. I would do the mobility, or I would like do the first exercise that looked like I'd do it. And it just broke my rut of waiting a little bit. So for those of you who can get into that too, where you're like, oh, kind of out of time today, the doing what you have can be helpful. But it always does feel funny when it's in your house and you're like, we're out of time. I also, it's embarrassing to admit, but every night I put my workout clothes on my night table. They take up all the space and they're in the way, but it takes me 2 minutes to find them at night and it takes me 12 minutes to find them in the morning. And so I will put them on in bed. If it's cold, I don't have to get out. Also embarrassing, this is a safe space. I will like under my covers change. And it's just reducing the barriers. And so your guys' stuff might be different, like what you do, but if anything makes it easier. But yeah, I love it's a good question, Katie. I'm glad you asked it because I think we all struggle with fitting it in.
We don't have any other questions. Oh, I see a raised hand. Go for it.
I was just gonna say, like, I'm one of these people that's really lucky I get to work from home 2 days a week. So I actually do my workouts during the week on my lunch hour when I'm at home. And then I do another one on Saturday in the morning before we do any other fun stuff. It's breakfast, then I do that workout. And that's so the second one is my extra. So like my for sure do Mondays. Thursdays is my like you were saying, Sasha, my extra. I'd love to get it in. If I can get it in, I'll squeeze it in. If I can't, I can't. and then Saturday is my absolute whatever. And then I'm actually really lucky that my work actually has a yoga instructor come in Wednesdays and teaches a yoga class on the lunch hour, which is super cool. So, I mean,
Great.
it doesn't help everybody else because if you don't work from home and you don't have the lunch hour to do it, I just that's been my how I'm getting them in. Because I'm the same way. I know for my mental health, I am not a morning person by any means, so I can't do them in the morning. And then I know how tired I am in the evening, and I know I won't get them done in the evening. So I 100% make sure that I get them done in the lunch hour or like right after breakfast, depending on the day.
I love that. That is so fantastic. Because that's the thing too. Like I'm the same way. Like Michelle, I lay everything out because I know what I'm going to be doing, so I can just get up and get it done without thinking about it. To your point, like just do it. I love that. Um, Brigitte, so actually, this is for everybody. So for Trainer Eyes, it's actually only one-way messaging. So I don't receive any questions if you're posting them in Trainer Eyes.
I put them in the other one.
Are you talking about the group chat, like the single
Yeah,
leg
the
deadlift
group.
questions? Yeah, you
Yeah.
can ask it here. Go ahead.
Okay. It's a little hard because I took pictures and I need my
I saw
glasses.
those pictures.
Um, so I'm asking, okay, so for this one here, I did this pull down exercise and I put my resistance bands together. And I don't know how to calculate what they add up to. So the resistance bands add up to like 130 pounds, but if I'm holding it with two hands, do I divide that in half? It doesn't feel like 130 pounds. So I'm trying to figure that out.
So I'm going to answer that first question right there. So for resistance bands with Trainer Eyes, there actually is no way like to kind of track. Like normally people would put in, say, like a lot of people are like, could I just put in the color of the bands? I'll remember next time.
Mhm.
We've asked again and again for that option, and it's just one of those features that they don't have available. So my workaround for that has actually been like whatever bands you have, like you're gonna have like a lighter one, probably to like a slightly heavier one just for your own self, like number them like a one, two, three. So one is the lightest, two heavier, three heavier, whatever. Have a great evening, Michelle. Thank you so much. And so then when you actually track it in Trainer Eyes, you could just put like one if you use the light band, two if you use the medium, or if you use a combination, you could just put like, three.
So what about if the bands say like they're 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 50 pounds
Then track it that
resistance?
way. Track it
Okay.
that way. Yeah,
Um,
like I don't think that they would add up pound wise if you compared it like band to
I don't think they
cable.
do. Yeah.
No, but for tracking purposes, it lets you know what you used last time. And that's really the most important thing with this.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have
And then there was this one exercise that I did with it was the single leg deadlifts with a band around your just one leg, and I think it was to make sure that your leg's not turning out. Does it matter? Like I used it like a pull-up assist band, so that's pretty thick. Does it matter if I use that band or like should I be using a thinner one or yeah.
Yeah, good question. With that exercise, I would probably go with a thinner band with that one.
Okay.
Because the thing is that band is actually just providing a little bit of feedback. And it's
Yeah.
actually, so what it's doing is you're setting it up like on that outside leg. So it's kind of pulling you in, right? And so
Yeah.
what has to happen is that hip and glute actually have to work really hard, harder than they already are working to kind of stabilize in through that leg. So you don't need a lot to get what you need out of this one. It's more just kind of like getting your body feeling that pull. So then that hip complex has to like pull back to stabilize more. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
when you're using that band, should it be like above your knee at a certain height
Slightly
or
above.
it's like okay, that's what I
Slightly
did.
above. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then back to the single leg deadlifts. I did 12-pound weights in each hand, and then I then I tried 15 pounds in each hand, and that was too much. So then I went down to 8 pounds, and I reduced the number of reps. So what I'm trying to understand is, when should you try reducing weight versus when do you try reducing reps? Or do you just do both? Like, how do you know, like, what's going to fix what in order to
I
help
just
you
want
get through
to,
it?
yeah, okay. I just want to say back what you said before I answer, just to make sure I heard you. So you
Okay.
started with 2 12 pounds,
Yeah.
then you did 2 15 pounds,
Yeah.
but the 15 pounds you felt like were a little bit too heavy. So you dropped back to 8 pounds.
Yeah, I dropped back to 8 pounds. So when I went up to the 15 pounds, it was okay on one side, but the other side didn't make it up oh, sorry, I'm saying this wrong. I
I was gonna
started
say like,
with 12 pounds. I
okay,
started with 12 pounds and I did
okay,
15 of them. So
okay, there we
on
go.
one side, I did 15, but the other side couldn't make it to 15.
Okay,
So
okay,
then I went down to 8 to
okay.
um try to get it to 15, and then I reduced the amount of reps. So what I'm trying to know is, do you
Reps versus
reduce the
weight.
weight or do you reduce the amount?
Yeah, this is a great question. And so this is one where I will say the answer is kind of surf the reps is what I give. So a lot of times, like for this, like say that rep range is 12 to 15. Well, normally, sorry, that's still letting you know that she's here. So normally what I'll do is I'll actually say pick a weight that feels good for the lower end of the rep range. So closer to that 12. And then over the next few bits, actually work on adding reps. So that way we're actually getting that like kind of progressive overload through the reps to get up to the higher end of the rep range. And then once you get up to that higher end of the rep range comfortably and you've kind of like done a workout or two like that, then you could look at increasing the weight and dropping those reps back down to the lower end and kind of just repeating that process. That would be like a general rule of thumb. There are going to be times that I don't always follow that, but that would be a good general rule of thumb.
Okay. And
Mhm.
then the last question that I had to do with weight plates.
Yeah.
And I have the ones that I have, they have like a 30 millimeter hole, and I'm looking for more to match that. And it seems to be hard to find. And what I was wondering is, if I bought a set that had like 1 inch holes, could I just add like the 30 millimeters is just a little bit bigger? Would those work on the other dumbbells, or you know?
Your dumbbells plate loaded?
Yeah.
I don't know specifically because I don't know the dumbbells that you have. That is an equipment question that I don't
Yeah.
necessarily have an answer to.
Okay.
I mean, I can see. I have somebody in my sphere who orders equipment. I could ask and see if he has like an opinion on that.
Okay. Mhm.
Um, or even just like Googling like the brand that you have and seeing, because usually they'll give you the specs for that and you could actually see like what you could buy that could work for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I bought it a while ago and they don't exist any longer. So that's
Can
why
you still find the spec page?
I know that it's a 30 millimeter hole. That's what I
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I think
Um,
that's it for me. Thanks.
no, no problem. I'm glad we walked through them. It's so much easier than like me answering it all and then you get chatting about it. Yeah, so no, I'm so sorry, Kristen. You can't, like, you're gonna have to substitute each time because it is like this is the program. And so without kind of changing everybody's, this would be you substituting each time. So that's annoying and I'm sorry.
Okay. The issue I
Yeah.
had was that I had picked one, picked a substitute for one, and then the next time I did it, I couldn't find it. So it ended up being something different. But I mean, I guess that's fine. It's for me because I'm also doing stuff from home, so I don't
Yeah.
have the pull thing. So it's again using
Yes.
resistant bands and trying to find one that works. Or I don't have medicine balls, so I'm using weights to do something
Yes.
else. So
These are
that's
ones, yeah, that's a good point. So these are ones too, like if you ever want to post like those in the chat and ask for like alternatives, I can give you alternatives. And the alternatives I give you would be like as they're listed, like in the Trainerize app. So that might make it easier for you too to find the like the substitutions. Cause I am sure you're not the only one if they're working out from home that maybe doesn't have a slam ball. For sure, for sure. Um, any other questions, gang?
I do have another one.
Nope, no more for you. Yes. Yes, you may go. You may go.
So my knees used to be a-okay, but since I put a little bit of weight on, they're not such a big fan of squats and lunges. And I usually find that I'm fine as long as I don't have any weights
Mm-hmm.
on them. So I'm hoping as I go through this and strengthen my like ligaments and stuff around my knees that
Yeah.
I will eventually be able to load weight again for them.
Yeah.
Do I just need to do more reps with no weights or just keep doing it the 12 to 15 reps or whatever the reps say and just hope that they get better? Like it's fine with stuff like deadlifts and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's just the actual squats and lunges.
Okay. So basically anything where you have kind of like more of that knee flexion, like that deeper like knee bend is where they kind of bug it. So I guess my first question would be right now, say with like the squats and the lunges, you're doing them body weight, but where are your reps? Like, are you closer to the 12 or closer to the 15 kind of pain free?
To the 15.
Okay. Like, and so you're able to get like the 2 to 3 sets at 15 pain free.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is then a really good question and also a very specific one. So you have two options here that we can play with. So option one would be to like lightly load the actual like movement pattern. So for squats, like maybe you would normally say pick a 15, but like I would be like, you know what, let's take an 8. Let's take an 8 and just see, can you tolerate, or can they tolerate is a better way to say it, that extra 8 pounds. Because what we want to do is essentially like just find that sweet spot where we can push them, and they feel good and you're recovering from it, and then just kind of gradually build up. So do you have access? Are you working out at the gym or home mostly? I can't remember.
I'm working out at home, but I have
That's
like
right,
I have a lot of the
downstairs.
smaller free weights and I've got bands and stuff.
So I would say if you have, like I said, like maybe start with an 8 maybe or a 10 and start at the lower end of the rep range and see if you can do it and you don't get any like feedback so they don't get cranky with you. And if you do, hold it for like a workout or two. And then what we'll do is we'll kind of start increasing like the reps, and then we'll do that game. You get to the 15 pain free, then we'll kind of go, okay, you did 10, so now maybe let's go 12, and then we'll go to 12 reps and keep going that way, because it actually sounds like it's more of a um like tolerance or load building, actually just getting them used to doing this again. Yeah. Yeah, and especially because you actually do, based on what you're saying, like you do have access to more stuff there. I'm gonna say that is the option. I'm not even gonna say the other one.
Right.
Yeah. Does that help?
That does help. Thank you.
Okay. And with the split squats or like the lunges, I would say with that one, go even a little bit lighter because those ones are unilateral or like that more single leg. So they're just going to take a little bit more out of you. So this is the one time when I would say you could actually try like less weight, even though it hurts my trainer heart. Like you could take a 5 or something. Because what we're trying to do is find that minimum effective dose where they kind of like feel it, but it doesn't like make them feel worse. What is the next question? Question about squats. Brigitte, is this you? A question about squats is that your hips don't hinge, only your
Yeah, it
knees.
is because sometimes I get told that I'm not doing them properly because my upper body tends to want to bend down too. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep this part straight. So is it that I'm just focusing on bending my knees and just don't try to hinge my hips and that's what will do it? Or I'm just trying to get it straight in my head.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So different bodies are going to squat differently, right? And so there are some people that are going to be, I'm going to say like a little bit shorter. So like the leg length is going to be a little bit shorter. So when they squat, you're going to see them look a little bit more upright, right? So it looks like a lot more like upright. They can just kind of like drop that butt down or whatever. For people that are a little bit taller or maybe have like longer legs, what it ends up looking like is not necessarily hingy, but it's a little bit more of like a forward leaning squat as you go. And with that, as long as that back is like neutral, it doesn't have to be straight, like straight is not neutral, but as long as that back is kind of like neutral as you're going, that could be your squat pattern. So if you wanted to, in this case, you could actually like just film like maybe like 2 or 3 squats and then 2 or 3 of your hinges, but it kind of actually sounds more like the squat, just checking in to see if like you're getting the technique properly. If you filmed a couple of them and put them in, we could take a look at them and see if they are looking a little bit maybe hingy or if that's just kind of like the way your body is built and that is your squat.
Okay,
Yeah, so we could totally take a look at that.
thanks.
And then I think you had the question too about the hex dumbbells. There'd be a size. Yeah, that would be you dependent. So where are you at now with like your weights and what do you feel like you're missing?
Um, well, I guess it gets back to those weight plates. And what am I gonna do with them? But
Yeah,
I go my regular dumbbells I have up until size 12 in pairs and
yeah,
like 12-pound pairs. And then with the weight plates, I have it set up as 15 each right now. And
okay.
I don't have more than that. So, but I know like if I were to go somewhere and to do squats or something like that, it would probably be better to hold something heavier than 215s.
Yeah.
And
Are you finding it pretty easy, like with the rep range, with the weights that you have at home for the lower body exercises in the workout?
I'm not gonna say that yet. I'll have to test it out the next time I do it. But because
Yeah, so
that's
I
like
would,
three
yeah.
sets, right? So
Totally. So I would take a look and just kind of see, because you specifically said more for, which is going to track, right? Because your lower body, you're
yeah.
probably going to want some heavier stuff. I would take a look and see just maybe over the next week, kind of like what you're using for like 3 sets of your squat or what you're using for those like lunges for the 3 sets. And if say maybe you're using 212s, your 212s for the lunges and you're doing 15 reps, then probably, yeah, like we need to look at bumping that up, right?
Mhm.
And that kind of gives us a good starting place because if you have 212s, then probably you're going to want like maybe a pair of 15s or 17 and a halves, right? Like something like that. So just take a look at it this week and kind of see where you're at, what the weights are at, and then we kind of will have a better idea of what you might need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Um, and then last question. So for most exercises, we are to max out the reps first before increasing the weight. So not always, Kristen, not always. This is like, as a general guide, like that's a really good place to start with, is kind of going like, pick that weight at the lower end of the rep range and like build up to like that top end and then you can drop down. So when people are kind of like navigating it at the start, I just find that a lot easier mentally to kind of wrap your head around. Um, but there are times when, say, let's say you have a 30-pound goblet squat, and you're like, I want to go to 35. But at 35, you know, maybe you get to 12 and it still feels a little bit easy, so you go to like 14 or 15, then I would say keep that heavier weight and like keep going. So ultimately, what I would like is I'd like really everybody, but this is like a little bit tougher when you're starting off lifting, is for everybody to be picking a weight that is like, you know, 2-ish reps in reserve. Meaning like if you're going for like 12 reps, you're picking a weight that you could do 14, but you sure as poop would not want me to ask you to do 14 with, right? And then kind of navigating the reps through the weight is how I would go with it. But that is a little bit more difficult, like when you're figuring out like what your weights are. So that's why I kind of go with the reps first before the weight. Does that make sense? Or did I just complicate things further for you?
I think that makes sense because like if I'm like doing a goblet squat, like the most I can really do at this point with a goblet squat is 12 pounds, and usually getting to like 13 or 14 is difficult.
Perfect. That's perfect.
That's what I mean. So like I'm not actually getting to the 15, but that's
That's
sort of
fine. That is
weight.
absolutely perfect.
Okay.
Like you are in that range, and also you are not only within like that rep range, but you're also in like that 1 to 2 reps in reserve where like
It needs to be difficult.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay, got it.
Exactly. Like if I asked you to do 2 more, you'd be like, I don't know, and I don't want to try. Like,
I
so
kept
that's
that in the back
perfect.
of my head for the last 2 workouts because I was like doing a couple that I was like the first time I didn't actually have enough of the weights. So I actually ordered a
Yeah.
couple more free weights. So I was like, okay, the first
Oh,
time I did this,
awesome.
well, I did these. And the next time I did, I'm like, okay, well, this is way more challenging. So this is where I need to be.
Yes. Yeah. That's perfect. So what you're doing is absolutely perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So keep on keeping on. Casey, we got like 4 minutes left. Does anyone have any other like burning like questions?
Someone remind me what the link is to the Thrive platform. I'm like trying to find my document. I'm really bad with tech sometimes.
Do you
So,
mean the Thrive guide or do you
oh, or
mean
the workouts. What's the platform with the
Oh
workouts?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Trainerize. Trainerize. So that yeah, it's a separate app. And I think I saw you in the group chat, like I think it was like a week or 2 ago, and I had resent you the welcome.
Oh, yes, you did.
I did, yeah, yeah, yeah. But let me know because if you haven't activated it yet, it may have expired. So if it has, just let me know and I can resend it.
Is it an app on, is it an app too? Or
It is an app. It's a free app. Yep.
is it yellow and black?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, I can't see your phone. It like blurred
I
it.
know.
So I was like, yes, but yes.
Yellow and black. Okay, because I have it. Yeah, it's here. I just didn't realize there was an app attached to it. So,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I know I was in here because I downloaded my setup, so I'll figure that out. Okay.
Yes, you did. Because I actually went in and it looked like you had logged
Yeah,
in. Yeah.
I
Okay.
have.
Okay. Good. Okay.
Don't
So
know
you have
how
it.
I logged in, so I have to figure that part out.
If you have any trouble with that, you can just pop it in the chat and we can troubleshoot. Or I could, like I said, resend you the it wouldn't be the welcome email, but it could be the like password reset or something like that if you needed it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing.
Any,
Thank you.
yeah, no problem. Any other questions, guys? Amazing. Well, then, if that's the case, like done and dusted, you're free to have an amazing rest of your Tuesday. Thank you all so much for coming on. Yay.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.